Ever had a toy that seemed to watch you? A doll whose eyes followed you across the room? Well, some stories are more than just childhood imagination. Today we're diving deep into the world of the paranormal, counting down 5 of the most famous and genuinely haunted dolls that actually exist. Lock your doors and maybe put your own dolls away for this one. First up is a name you probably recognize, Annabelle. Long before she was a Hollywood horror star in the Conjuring universe, Annabelle was a real Raggedy Ann doll, gifted to a nursing student named Donna in 1970. It started small. The doll would change positions, moving from a chair to the couch. Then it started moving between rooms. Donna and her roommate Angie would come home to find the doll in a different part of the apartment than where they left it. Soon, things escalated. They began finding little notes written on parchment paper, with messages like "Help us." The creepy part? They didn't even own any parchment paper. The final straw came when a friend, Lou, who openly disliked the doll, claimed he was attacked by it in a dream and later found physical scratch marks on his chest. Fearing the doll was possessed by something inhuman, they contacted famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. The Warrens determined the doll was a conduit for a demonic entity and took it into their possession. Today, Annabelle resides in the Warrens Occult Museum in Connecticut, locked inside a specially made glass case. A sign on the case reads, "Warning, positively do not open." The museum is now closed, but the legend of Annabelle lives on as a chilling reminder that some toys just don't want to play nice. Next, we travel to Key West, Florida, to meet a doll that inspired another horror icon, Chucky. Meet Robert the Doll. The story begins in 1904 when a young boy named Robert Eugene Gene Otto was given a one-of-a-kind, 3-foot-tall doll stuffed with straw. Gene loved the doll, naming it Robert after himself. He would carry it everywhere, talking to it for hours. Soon his parents started hearing 2 distinct voices coming from Gene's room, Gene's, and a much deeper, unfamiliar one. Neighbors reported seeing the doll move from window to window when the family was out. Household objects would be found thrown across rooms, and when confronted, a terrified Gene would always say the same thing: "Robert did it." As Gene grew up, Robert was relegated to the attic, where he sat for years. After Gene's passing, a new family moved into the house. Their young daughter soon began screaming in the night, claiming the doll in the attic was alive and had tried to hurt her. She said its expression would change, and it would mock her. Today, Robert the Doll is on display at the Fort East Martello Museum in Key West. Visitors claim to have experienced camera malfunctions and other strange occurrences when trying to photograph him. According to legend, you must ask Robert's permission before taking his picture. If you don't, it's said he'll place a curse on you. The museum walls are covered with letters from people begging Robert for forgiveness after they failed to show him the proper respect. Let's head to Japan for our third entry, Okiku. This doll's story is more melancholic than terrifying, but it's just as mysterious. In 1918, a 17-year-old boy named Eikichi Suzuki bought a beautiful doll in Sapporo for his 2-year-old sister Okiku. The doll wore a traditional kimono and had a short, cropped black hairstyle. Okiku adored her new friend and took it everywhere. Tragically, the following year, Okiku fell ill and passed away from a severe cold. The grieving family placed her beloved doll on the household altar to pray for her spirit. That's when something strange began to happen. The doll's hair, originally cut in a short bob, started to grow. Over time, it grew down past the doll's knees. The family believed that Okiku's restless spirit had possessed the doll. Even after trimming the hair, it would simply grow back. In 1938, the Suzuki family entrusted the doll to the care of the Manenji Temple in Hokkaido, where it remains to this day. Priests at the temple regularly trim Okiku's hair, and they confirm that it continues to grow. Scientific analysis of the doll's hair reportedly concluded that it is, in fact, human hair. Is it the spirit of a little girl forever attached to her favorite toy? Whatever the truth, the Okiku doll is a haunting and poignant legend. Our fourth doll comes with a family curse. This is Joliet, the doll said to be passed down through generations of one family, bringing with it a terrible omen. The story, shared by a woman named Anna, begins with her great-grandmother. She was given the doll as a gift, and soon after she gave birth to a son. On the third day of the boy's life, he tragically passed away. The family started to hear faint cries coming from the doll at night. Anna's grandmother inherited the doll, and the same horrifying pattern repeated. She gave birth to a son, who died on his third day. Then the doll was passed to Anna's mother, who also lost her infant son. Anna herself is the current owner of Joliet. She too gave birth to a son who passed away on his third day. According to Anna, the doll carries the spirits of all these lost baby boys. She claims that you can hear multiple distinct infant cries coming from the doll, sometimes overlapping. The family believes the doll is cursed, but they refuse to get rid of it. They feel that if they abandon Joliet, they would be abandoning the souls of their lost children. So the cursed heirloom continues to be passed down, a chilling legacy of grief and paranormal activity for the women of the family. Finally, we meet Mandy, a porcelain doll from the early 1900s with a cracked face and a haunting stare. Mandy was donated to the Quesnel Museum in British Columbia, Canada, in 1991. Her previous owner couldn't take it anymore. She would wake up in the middle of the night to the sound of a baby crying, but there was no baby in the house. The sounds always seemed to come from the basement where Mandy was kept. Once the doll was gone, the crying stopped forever. But for the museum staff, the strangeness was just beginning. When Mandy first arrived, she was placed in a display case by herself. Staff members reported that their lunches would go missing from the fridge, only to be found tucked away in a drawer somewhere else. Pens, books, and other objects would vanish from desks and reappear in different parts of the museum. The most common report, however, is the sound of her footsteps when no one is around. Many believe Mandy doesn't like to be alone. When placed in a case with other dolls, the activity seems to lessen, but when left by herself, visitors and staff often feel watched, experiencing a deep sense of sadness. Some even claim to have seen her eyes blink or follow them as they walk by. Mandy the doll remains one of the museum's most popular and most unsettling exhibits, and that's our look at 5 haunted dolls that are all too real. From demonic conduits to cursed heirlooms, these toys prove that sometimes the scariest things come in the smallest packages. Which story creeped you out the most? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the paranormal, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more spooky content. Stay safe, and see you next time.